Welcome, traders, to At the Close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
What a day in the markets. I got to bring on my man, Joel Elconin. What's going on?
Hey, Mitch, thanks for joining me. We'll have you here tomorrow and Monday as well. So mixing it up a little bit today. Just running down the commodities, the cryptos we like to follow. Momentum from the pre-market that carried right over to the opening bell. Bottomed $1.50 off that 2075 open, took out the pre-market low, wasn't like it was nothing, or pre-market high, and then barreled through Wednesday's high. We're way up here at 41.69, the quarter high, currently trading 77 41.67. That's up almost 56 handles on the day. Right back up, folks. Can't keep this market down after a little bit of tantrum yesterday. Crude, that's in the red by $1.29 at 62.06. Nothing special in the crude market. Gold, that's down $4.90 at 1876.60. Silver, trying to get back over 28, not doing a very good job. That's down 15 cents at 27.88. And you want to get chopped to death here, check out this 15-minute chart of Bitcoin today. Big old range, $700 range, all said and done up $750 at 40,090. A good 10 grand off that low from yesterday. And Ethereum, just an $800 range. That made a new low for the move today. That's interesting. While Bitcoin came nowhere near it, down to 2157 and bounce up now up $187 on the day at 2808.75. So let's bring in Mitch. And Mitch, I guess Triple D got you to open up the bank account today, huh?
Let's just say, yeah, we were talking about how I was fully kind of in that cash mode, but today I had the buying shoes on and I got excited. I got into a couple stocks. We'll get into some of those. But first, I want to also bring up the big news that I kind of saw in Bitcoin with the Treasury Department announcing that it would require any transfer worth of $10,000 or more to be reported to the IRS. So, cryptocurrencies already pose a significant detection problem from the IRS. And so now we're going to really see kind of a more focus towards that illegal activity, including tax evasion from the Treasury.
Yeah, and I'm sure that accounted for the dip both in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, it was a matter of time before, the government gets involved in things. But the good news is it didn't take out the low of the move. And can't say the same thing for Ethereum. The only thing I want to check on Bitcoin here is on big volume days, I like to see what the open interest did in the futures contract, just to see if people were building new positions here. And what did we have yesterday in Bitcoin? On the daily chart, let me see what the open interest did. Open interest, flat. I can't believe that. Flat at 6,340. So no new longs, no new shorts there. But let's get to some stocks of the day. And boy, oh boy, space took investors for a little bit of a lift off and then a decline. They liked that news overnight, but the only thing I wanted to point out here to our traders and investors, if you're looking at your pre-market high, well, you wouldn't have gotten done because the pre-market high came in at 2173. But off that 2062 open, they tried. They got it to 2163, turned around pretty quickly, came back through that open. Taking a short at the open, you could have taken it. It would have been a heatless trade, but tricky part would have been the target, because if you were targeting the top of yesterday's range at 1727, you didn't come anywhere near that. The low of the session, 1870.50. They like the fact that they're scheduling some more test flights.
Yeah, I actually I'll talk about one that I actually got into here, and Dennis was actually asking me when did I want to jump back in, because he was taking a look at it. Max R is one that I jumped into today. Not a bad looking chart. One of the things is this one did do an offering up there. That's where you kind of see that gap. But I believe in the satellite game. If you're gonna get into space, I think the revenues really come from satellite, and it's going to be a race, because there's going to be eventually too many satellites up in space, and then they'll get regulated to the point where they can't just continue the growth. But that's what I'm going to be looking for in the space industry.
Sleepy chart. You've come down hard. Boy, this thing is volatile. You had this level in all-time high back this is a while ago. But let's just go more recent here. And on the monthlies, you got an area there, 2743, 2740. That was your monthly low. You go back a few other months and you got a 2629 low. So you're buying on some monthly support. You're still within that area. Bulls can't quite get it out of here. What I would look for you, Mitch, and what I'm hoping for in this issue, what I like to identify? I like to identify several highs, multiple highs in the same area. And it's a little bit of a volatile stock, but when I'm eyeballing everything here from 30.86 up to 31.44, I just call it 31 and a quarter. I'd take 31 and a quarter, 31.30. You get there, you get into this red bar here. Of course, if you can eventually get over 35, then you can work on a gap fill. But let's get this thing over 31 and a quarter.
All right, so it looks like solar had a good day there. So we could take a look at some of the solar stocks, or we could just look up the ETF.
We could do both.
There you go.
Yep.
This is one that I actually on Thursday and Friday I actually was starting to get bullish on solar, and I called the bottom on Friday. So I'm gonna look to see if this continues. But solar had come back almost like 50-60%, almost every single stock. So.
Boy, I tell you, you look at so many of these monthly charts on these growth stocks, and it's just the same thing. The ramp, the retreat, but holding, this one didn't quite get to its December low. Couple 3-4 lows in the same area. A nice bump today. Let's see here. This level of interest here is just called $80. I think you get some legs here if you could get over 80. And from a retracement standpoint, I don't want to get you too excited here. But if you go from this recent high down to here, not a very good line here. Let me try it one more time. But a 50% retracement, this looks like it's like 125. That's a little bit better. $100, maybe 97.5, 80. That would take back half of this move and prove whether it wants to go back to all-time high. First Solar, let's take a look at some of the big components in that index. First Solar, having a good day as well. Cleared that $75 area. Alert to our traders out there. 77.74. You haven't quite got there in today's session. Current high 76.95. We still got a little bit of time left, but that would be an area just to get into this big old red bar. What else do we look at for solar? Sun?
Run had a good RUN.
RUN. Let's see here.
I had the new.
Yep. They're doing something with Fords, right?
Yep. That's exactly what it is. And I mean, this could segue also. We could talk some forward. We can see how Ride actually, and Chris and I were actually talking about this, Chris Ketchy and I on Spax Attack, that we could potentially see Ride come down because of the Ford announcement.
Yeah. Well, they got a downgrade today. Yeah.
That analyst just picking on them.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it was my pre-market prep stock of the day. And what my theme was, A stock's in a downtrend for a long time, and then it gets a rally. Well, it doesn't take much to shake out the longs there. Downgrade a price target cut from 18 to 1. So that spooked shareholders. You had a lot of people on this looking for the momentum. So it turned. So the lower open caught people. Before I did my article, it was holding Wednesday's low of 961. You just breached that at 950. So, like I said here on the chart, down but not out. But folks, I mean, this thing had from 669 to 1165. I mean, come on. I mean, what, a 60% rally there? So $5, 2.5. So 670, 770, 920. I mean, if you want this on a pullback, if you're going to spit in the face of the downgrade and the price target cut, and you want to see 920, and it looks like you might get a chance there. So that's right. We talk about Fords, and we talked about the paper in the book. We like to tell you guys what's in the New York book. Got back to where it was before earnings. That earnings high was 1260. There was also another high here at 1259. Well, it gapped up. It did a little bit better than that. Retreated. Didn't get to the top of yesterday's range. So maybe if you're looking for to pick up some Ford on a little bit of support, I don't know. Red bar here. Let's see if we can get to the top of the range from Wednesday. That would be 1221. If we're looking at Ford, we might as well look at GM. Holding 54. I didn't get a big boost off the following Ford, but sleepy, range bound 54 to 55, or excuse me, 54 to 56, kind of at the upper end of the range to see if we can clear 56 in General Motors.
All right. So the next area that I want to take a look at, and really, I mean, I've been impressed because the Qs had been kind of a little bit sleepy, going a little bit sideways, looking like they wanted to crack a little bit. And man, did they get a lift. They started pushing up today. So we're going to pay attention. We talked about some semiconductor stocks this morning. Dennis Dick mentioning AMD. Definitely a good day for AMD, but the Qs, I mean, I like that pushback today. That's starting to look strong.
Yeah, if you could have just put the blinkers on yesterday and said, hey, I see these two lows in this area. 316 even, 316.90. It went to 1630 yesterday, so above this low. So if you could just been blind and said, hey, stand in front of that trade, use your daily lows, two lows in the same area, boom, you caught a nice trade that's also in the area of the 50%. That's a little bit off because we made a new high here, so I have to get rid of that. But Q's on the move. The big boys helping out. Apple up 278. Mr. Softy up almost $4. Amazon, Google, they're all looking good. Facebook, Tesla. Talked about Tesla yesterday. I mean, you had the moment of truth for that stock. Was it going to hold that 540? Gapped up today. Nice move. A little strange here, a little tighter range in Tesla that averages about $32 per day. A little bit of a tight range, 15 here. That's a little bit concerning. That to me, you might come down and fill that gap down at 566.21 before you turn higher. But trying to get away from that major super extra support at 540.
All right. So one of the things that I think a lot of people are watching, I mean, of course, the Kathy stocks. So we could look at ARK, but one of the ones that I always mention with ARKK would be to focus on the Roku because it's one of the leading holdings there. So Roku also having a strong day. There've been a lot of talks, their new original content, and that's really what I'm buying into on Roku. I think this is a good stock here of the growth stocks that Kathy has in the top holdings. Tesla, Roku, DocuSign. I think Roku's my favorite out of those three.
Just deja vu all over again here. You came down hard, a remarkable run. This one came down, kissed its December low. Went through it by $1.50. So if you were using your monthly chart, 73.79 got you on there. It's 72.41 now, pressing into the lower to middle 330 handle. One pesky high only to worry about. That would be up at 337.24. That is within striking distance. Came up to that area to fill this gap. And oh, no, you still got a gap filled at 332.03. No, wait, you filled that. What am I talking about? So you filled that gap. Your next daily high, ooh, that's way up at 345.39. And talking, just going back to the semis, nibbled at a little bit more Intel today.
Hey,
I'm
can't
stuck
blame you.
long
Can't
in that
blame you.
one. Yep. That's having a nice move. Cleared out the sellers, short-term sellers at 56. Point I want to point out to you guys is higher open. A lot of times when I see a higher open, I hope a stock comes back into the prior day's range. It sure did that. Open 55.57. Yesterday's high 43. The actual close was 55.36. Kissed it. Now back up. High 56.24. But getting a little tired here in the 56 handle. We'll see how if it can close above 56 and start another leg higher.
All right, so this is when I'll go ahead and I'll throw out to the chat. If you guys want to throw up some tickers for us to take a look at, let's start rolling through some of those. But of course, we need to take a look at what's going to be coming up after the close on the earnings. So after the close, we're going to have Applied Materials. We're going to have Energy System, Palo Alto, Ross. Any of those is sticking out to you, Joel?
Well, AMAT, I mean, man, that has been coming out off the low. Street leading long into the report. 2 good days in a row. 145 to 115, 30-point move. Add that. Ooh, halfway back. Let's hold 130. On a spike here, on a good numbers. I'm not going to pay attention to these highs here, but if you're looking for a little bit of juice here, there's 2 highs exactly at 38 and a quarter, 38.67. One intermediate, man, this 136, 137, 138.50 area. I see too many highs in that area to ignore it. On a big pop, that's up $6-7 from here. 2 big days. You were under 120 yesterday, so you may find on a pop, some profit taking. On a drop here, if somehow they don't like the numbers, you've already come 15 points off the bottom. Maybe if you want to try and pick this up on the cheap, maybe 22 and a half, 122 and a half, that would represent half of the break or half of the rally that it just had if you're looking to reload here in Applied Materials.
All right, let's go and start rolling through some stocks from the chat now. Let's get into one that's definitely been struggling. I think, I think it has a good story, but it's one of those that I always talk about. You might need something more than just story to get it back up there. Airbnb definitely has been struggling.
What's going on? Boy, man, this 130. Wow. Got the pop-off earnings to one. You got some good levels in here, folks. And when I mean good levels, I mean good levels. You got to hold 130. I'm pounding the table on that. I see 2 lows, 29.71 and 30 and a quarter. A couple up in a little above that in the 31 handle. On the upside, on that earnings day, stop dead in its tracks at 142 and a quarter. Prior day's high, 142.33. So if you're looking to pick this up on some strength, you got to clear that 142. You're looking for another leg lower. You breach that 130, and then you have the old-time low that was made off the IPO at 121.50. But right now, Spoo's starting to lose some altitude going into the final 10 minutes of trading. Got up to 69 and a quarter, back at 55 and a quarter. But hey, folks, from yesterday's low at 55.50, we're $100 off that, folks. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's quite a big move. So little profit taken. I also would like to see. Oh, look at this in the spoon. Oh, this was earlier in the week, and this will be our number going into next for Friday. Going into next week, as you guys know, I like to track the 24-hour high and low. That consists from the 6 p.m. open until really the 5 p.m. close, even though the mark is on the 4 o'clock close. But Mondays, or excuse me, yeah, Tuesday's high, 78 and a quarter. Wednesday's high, 78.75. Thursday's high, 79.50. That's a triple top. That's what we need to get up, get in the 4,200 handle, get up to that all-time high of 42.32 and a quarter, improve on that all-time closing high of 42. Wow, a lot of quarters here. 42.25 in a quarter. Still up 43 handles on the session. Starting to peel back a little bit, Mitch. What else do you have for me?
All right. So the next one up, we have NIO being mentioned in the chat. This is an interesting one. I actually got into not NIO, but of course, another Chinese EV name, XPEV. So we could take maybe a quick look at both of them, NIO, XPEV.
XPEV. Ooh, do I see a Head and Shoulders double bottom or a bottom there? Do I see that? Or am I making
look bad
things
to me?
What's up, guys?
Yeah. Hey,
What's up?
what's
The
up,
big man.
part-time?
I'm sorry. I had a recording. It was a whole thing. I thought it was going to end at 3:30. It did not. I apologize. But thank you, Mitch, for stepping.
Yeah, Mitch, you stick
Doing
around.
my best. Doing my best.
Oh, yeah, Mitch,
Yeah.
hang out. Don't leave. I wasn't saying you should leave.
Doing a great job.
Say hi.
XPV. I mean, this thing is kind of head and shouldery. Look at this little head, head and shoulder here. And this one's kind of like a cricket shoulder. And then you had that head and shoulder here that failed. And then this long decline here. You finally broke that string of lower highs and now bumping up. I'm not minding this one at all. Are we in the area of any other former daily highs? Nope. Maybe you got some room short term here, 30.24. That was your May high, actually. May 30.24 was your high in the first day of trading of the month of May. And you mentioned NIO, and I have not looked at this one. Whew. I mean, if you want to strike, this is the area, 34.37, currently trading. Couple tight range days. You'd have to lean on the low of the move at 31.56. You want to risk $3, but hey, monthly low in November, 31.68. Monthly low here, just above that, 31.91. This month's low undercut a little bit, 30.71. The monthly support, it's holding. It's holding for now in NIO.
Did you guys talk about John Deere or Foot Locker? Because they both report tomorrow morning.
Boom, boom. Let's
John
get into
Deere.
that. We talked about some after the close, but we didn't talk about the open.
Little nervousness.
We haven't talked about John Deere in a very long time, I feel like.
Man, look at Deere. Holy mackerel. Whew. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, folks. I'm seeing. Because of the rotation, number one. Number two, this had, look at the monthlies here. This thing is going to have its first red month. This is, let's see. Was April red? Let me look at it on a close-to-close basis. Yeah, April was tad on the red. And, boy, you're working on a red candle this month. I just don't know what's going to happen if it takes out these two lows here from the last two sessions. You're $5 above it, but just respect 350, folks. 350, boom. That was your support here. So let's keep eye at 3. I don't want to, if I'm trading this under 350, things open up. In fact, if you can't hold 350, your next daily low, I see another daily low at 49.22. But you got a 15-point drop to 34.14. If you look at Deere, you got to look at Cat. Cat goes splat too, but not nearly as bad.
They trade the same. And don't forget, guys, John Deere is a space play. Remember, it's in the as Jeff Cavallari is keen to remind us. This is in the ARK Invest Space ETF. So don't forget that. John Deere in space. What else?
Is John Deere, I mean, I'm just making sure, is it considered a value play?
Well, I don't know what the PE is. Let's take a look.
Yeah,
That's a good question
I mean,
because
it
I'm
was.
wondering if value is coming out of favor here and growth is coming back. Might not be on the top radar to watch here.
Yeah, I mean, it's value-y for sure. You got a forward PE of like 20, mid to low 20s. Yeah, that's value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
we learned something today. I didn't even know. So there you go.
You got a gap fill in the cat here. From you had a 30. You needed to get down to 34 to fill the gap. You actually did that the last two sessions here. Boy, oh boy, if it somehow got a gap to 340. This one's looking a little tired here. So important that you hold. Let's call it the last two lows, 31.9. This is called 32.30. Splitting the lows of the last two sessions.
And then there's a question about why Komatsu hasn't taken off like cat or deer. Well, it does trade in the U.S., but it trades on the OTC market, so the ticker is very long. I'd imagine a lot of people don't know that Komatsu trades in the U.S. It's KMTUY, the primary market, obviously over in Asia. I don't even really know how big a market the U.S. is for Komatsu compared. I mean, obviously it's an Asian company, but maybe Tyler, since you asked the question, maybe you know more than I do. If America is a big market for Komatsu, but because I honestly don't know. But why hasn't it taken off? Probably because it isn't really traded. It's not that liquid in the U.S. Is probably your answer.
Just bunching. I don't know where you're trading, how you're trading. Bunching up on the monthlies here. It certainly has. It's had a nice run off the. It's over double, but you're forming a wall of monthly resistance here over the last 3 months. So you better get over that. You better get over that in a hurry. The highest of let's go with the middle high there, 31.94. So peeling back.
Tyler says you always in construction. He has 10 times more Komatsu than he does cat or deer. All right, I stand corrected. What else?
Penn, PENN.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I heard Florida legalization news today. Boom, boom.
Oh, that's not the. That's not. I don't know. Quiet. Too quiet. Ooh, tight range days. Boom. Make sure you hold 76.50 on this. That splits the lows from the last two sessions. Boom. 79 resistance. Two highs. 878. 914. S&Ps. Another little leg down here. We're leaking after that 114-point rally off that low from early yesterday morning. If we're looking at Penn, you got to look at DraftKings holding up a little bit better. Get that 45 guy out of there. 44.87 the high today, 45.36 the other high. I see another 45.29 high. You got to get that seller there. It's called 45.15, 45.20. Another leg higher. On the downside here, yeah, big drop off between the low from today and yesterday, 43.38. But you're a buck above there, so we'll see what happens. It's trying.
I went for in the same sector. I went for RSI, and I took that today.
RSI, relative strength index.
Not a bad day for me.
Oh, you get that 13 guy out of there. What's that 13 guy doing in there? He doesn't know any better. Look at that. Ding, ding, ding. 13. Mitch, keep an eye on 13. All right, Spencer.
Yeah.
Another one of your travels.
Let's not act like I'm a world traveler or anything. But I do have a couple of trips back to back. So I will see you guys on Monday. Don't forget, or Tuesday. Don't forget, giving away a free share of Tesla. Link in the description. Subscribe to Benzinga on YouTube. Subscribe to Benzinga Clips. And when we cross the 100,000 subscriber threshold, we're giving away a free share of Tesla. Joel, Mitch, I will see you guys on Tuesday and everyone else.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you all in the morning. Be safe. Say hi to Jeremy.
Jeremy will not be in town. I texted him. He's not going to be around, so he ditched me. Smash the like. Cannabis Hour coming up right now. We'll see you guys down the line.
All right. Have fun.